Hello friends, welcome to Nifty technical and option chain analysis. So before we study our option chain, let's see what Nifty has done today. So today's date is 30th of September, and in our previous video we have discussed that Nifty made a bearish harami candle. Reason being, if we see the 27th September candle, we can see the high and low was in between the candle of 26th of September. So which indicates the bearish trend. So let in on 27th of September we can see Nifty closed at 11,512, and over here and today we can see Nifty opened at 11,491. It means almost 20 points of gap down. Now let's go to 5-minute candle chart and let's see what Nifty has done today. So as we have discussed, Nifty opened around at 11,491. So yesterday we have discussed that 11,500 is going to be our major strike price. Reason being, we could see that 11,500 was our strong support and resistance as well. So over here we can see that at 9:20 candle Nifty tried to break 11,500, and but it couldn't sustain, and finally the Nifty started the bearish trend over here. So over here we can see at 9:40 Nifty made a low of around 11,417, and we can see over here that Nifty was completely sideways. Reason being, if we see the 15-minute candle chart, see over here we can see that Nifty was completely in a sideways trend. If we go 2 days back at 26th of September, over here we can see there was a strong support for Nifty. If we see over here on that day, Nifty made a low around 11,416. So over here we can see that almost for 1.5 hours Nifty was in a sideways trend, and finally Nifty broke that sideways trend at 11 at a time 12:15. But again, in the very next candle, we can see Nifty tried to break 11,400, which was our strong support for 30th of September. But over here, we can see the close of that candle is almost 11,400.05. It means Nifty couldn't break our resistance. And if we see further 3 to 4 candles, we can see that Nifty tried to break the 11,400, but none of the candle closed above the below the 11,400, and finally we can see the uptrend started. But again around at 225 Nifty tries to break 11,500, and we can see as the 11,500 was a strong resistance for Nifty couldn't sustain for a long, and finally Nifty started the downfall, and we can see finally the Nifty closed around at 11,478. So this was the complete technical analysis. Now let's go to the option chain and we'll try to find out support and resistance for the 1st of October. So that I have already opened. So Nifty closed around at 11,477. We'll start a study at strike price 11,500. First of all, we'll study the puts and we'll try to find out support, and then we'll study the calls. So let's see what we have at strike price 11,500. So at strike price 11,500, we can see the change in open interest is minus 1.1 lakh contracts. Now what does it mean? It means the put buyers who bought the contracts at strike price 11,500, they unwind their position and they sold the contracts. Reason being, we can see the net change is minus 11. So it means the put buyers unwind their position at strike price 11,500. It means the support at 11,500 became a little bit weak. Now if we see further down at 11,400, we can see the change in open interest is almost 9 lakh contracts, and the net change is minus 13, and the cumulative open interest is almost 20 lakh contracts. It means the put writers or put seller sold the contracts at strike price 11,400. Now, if we further see downside at 11,300, we can see that the net change is minus 10, and the change in open interest is 1.4 lakh contracts, and the cumulative open interest is almost 11 lakh contracts. Now, if we further go down at 11,200, we can see the highest change in open interest is at strike price 11,200. 200, which is almost 2.7 lakh contracts, and the cumulative open interest is almost 11 lakh contracts. It means the put writers and put sellers are thinking that Nifty can get this very strong support at the strike price 11,200. That's why they are selling the contracts at strike price 11,200, and they are not taking any further position at strike price 11,300 or 11,400, which indicates the bearish trend in the Nifty. So after studying this strike price, if I want to find out the very first support for the tomorrow, then it is going to be a 11,400. And if Nifty try to break this support, then 11,300 is going to be our first strong support. And in case again Nifty tries to break this 11,300, then 11,200 is going to be our very strong support. So let's go to call side and we'll try to find out resistance for tomorrow. So if we see at strike price 11,500, we can see the change in open interest is 7.2 lakh contracts, and the open interest cumulative open interest is almost 16 lakh contracts. And as the net change is minus 47, it means the call writers or call sellers sold the contracts at strike price 11,500. Now if we further go down at 11,400, we can see the change in open interest is 2.7 lakh contracts, and the cumulative open interest is 6.7 lakh contracts. And as the net change is minus 50, it means again the call writers and call sellers sold the contracts. But if we compare this contract change in open interest and the cumulative open interest at strike price 400 and 500, we can see the call writers or call sellers selling the contracts in a higher number at strike price 11,500. It means they are still the traders are still in a thought that Nifty can sustain above the strike price 11,400. That's why they are selling the contracts in a higher number at strike price 11,500. So 11,500 is going to be our first resistance for 1st of October. Now if we see further down at strike price 11,600, we can see the change in open interest is 2.5 lakh contracts, and as the net change is minus 38, it means the call writers or call seller sold the contracts at strike price 11,600, and the cumulative open interest is almost 23 lakhs. So after studying these three strike price 400, 500 and 600, we can see the highest change in cumulative open interest is at strike price 11,600. So 11,600 is going to be a very strong resistance for 1st of October. So if we want to bound the Nifty in a range for 1st of October, then according to my analysis, it will be 11,300 to 11,600. So it is just my analysis. Do your own analysis before making any trade. Reason, because if you'll do your trade and if you'll make any profit or loss, then it will be yours. So thank you friends for watching this video, and if you like it, then please subscribe our channel and hit the like button. Thank you friends.